Doing
Uh,
great. Sorry, I was a minute late.
no, it's all good. You're here. We'll get started first with Mark Berman. If you have a question for Pat, go ahead and use the raise hand tool, please.
Good morning. Obviously, you had a nice win over Pittsburgh, to say the least, over the weekend. Was kind of wondering, what did you kind of there that maybe you kind of want to bottle it and have the team do that well consistently?
I thought we played well overall. I thought our defense, from a process standpoint, was really good. We got off to a great start, obviously. Um, Shot the ball as well as we have the entire year, but on both ends of the floor, I was very pleased.
Had you looked at recent losses and said, okay, it's because of the adversity, or it's because we were playing Duke and Virginia, or were there certain things that you were like, okay, if I get this fixed, it's not going to matter who the opponent is or what the injury situation is, that'll turn things around.
No, I mean, never accept in victory what you wouldn't accept in defeat, even after coming off of a 46-point win. Um, I always have a list of offense, defense, special teams, things that we can improve on. So you mentioned the Duke game and the Virginia game. You give both of them credit. They were better than us on those nights. Um, and there are always things on both ends of the floor that we can improve on.
Thank you.
David Teal, go ahead, sir.
Pat, as a team, you guys shoot better than 60% inside the arc. Against Virginia, it was below 50%. How much of that was their rim protectors and block shot ability?
That helps. They got great length and very good shot blockers. They make it difficult for you at the rim for sure.
Again, if you've got a question for Pat, use the raise hand tool. If not, if you need access to record, let me know that as well. Pat, you got a week here. What's the week look like for you before you play again on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, when you always have a bye week, you have an opportunity to focus just on yourself and not an opponent, at least on the outset, the beginning of the week. So we'll do that this time of the year. You always have guys nicked up, banged up, and you always use that additional time off to get guys healthy that need to get healthy. And then obviously we'll get ready at the end of the week for a very, very talented, well-coached Virginia Tech team.
Brett Friedlander, go ahead, sir.
Speaking of those banged up guys, what's the latest on Mikal?
He's getting better. He's working really hard in his rehab. We're hoping at some point this week to to start getting him back into practice some and see how things progress from there. But I have no other update other than that.
Thanks.
Go back to David Teal.
When news of the gambling indictments last week in college basketball broke, did you talk to your team about it?
Yeah, we talk about things with our guys all the time off the court. As college basketball coaches, and maybe even professional coaches at the NBA level, whatever, maybe they think the same way. But, basketball sports is a microcosm of life, and our ability to teach life lessons and, through the game of basketball is something that I think all of us college coaches take pride in. Our basketball court's still our classroom. Our film sessions are still our classroom. So always pointing out things that happen outside, the 94 by 50 foot rectangle, or whatever it is something that we try to do to teach our guys and make sure that they don't fall into the same traps.
Jody Demling, go ahead, sir.
Pat, Ollie has impacted your team all year in the things that he does with passing, and we all know that, or you've talked about that. But his shooting the last 4 or 5 games has been pretty unbelievable. Is he that type of guy that can shoot it that well? The whole season. Or did you kind of expect that from him? Is that something that you saw from him? Before this year.
Well, I think if you look at the back of his bubblegum card throughout the course of his career, he's been a good shooter. Jody, as we're talking here, I'm kind of like pulling up some of his, his first year at Charlotte, he was near 36% from three. Second year at Charlotte, he was 38% from three. He had a little bit of a dip, the his last year at BYU. He's shooting it at 44% on good volume right now. But I would say, throughout the course of his career, he's a 36% three-point shooter, which is pretty darn good.
Mark Berman.
Yeah, when you look at your recent wins, whether it's Pitt or BC or Cal, certain things that kind of you're doing pretty well that it kind of explains those victories as opposed to the losses.
I just think when teams are playing well on both ends of the floor from a defensive perspective, whether it's Louisville or anybody in the country, they're extremely connected in whatever their scheme is. Some are zone, some are pressing teams, some are half court man to man, some, play different versions of man to man, but a connected team is a desperate team that communicates, that executes their system at a really high level, that limits teams to one shot as much as possible. That's really good in transition defense, free throw block out, those simple things that translate to winning. On the offensive end, we're at our best when our defense is at our best because we're able to get out in transition. I think the majority of teams would say that as well, but as you guys know, we really rely on our transition. And then on the offensive end, we need to be connected there as well. And when we're right and we're playing well, we're not letting defenses dictate to us. We're dictating to them. Guys are playing with a lot of confidence. We're doing the basics brilliantly, our screening, our cutting. We're hunting great, which is great shots. And then we're pursuing the ball and we're getting second ones. And, and we're not turning the ball over. We're not having empty possessions. One of the things that we've been trying to focus on because it's been a issue for us is defending without fouling to keep people off the free throw line, which is the most efficient shot in the game. So it's a longer answer than you want, but being connected on both ends and then just playing desperate is what we always focus on.
Thank you.
Last question will go to Shelby Swanson.
Yeah, thanks so much for taking the time today. I'm curious. I think I asked you recently about just kind of the usage of iPads, just in terms of like in-game film review, things like that. But I'm curious, just when it comes to you and Coach's Challenge, what goes into that? Who do you determine on your
Well,
staff as like the computer guy? Just yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have people on our staff that are in charge of that live, and you have to make a really quick decision. And now that replays come into those challenges have come into sports. Baseball does it, football does it, basketball does it. Now college basketball does it. You have to make really quick decisions. So you're relying on two things: one, real time, what your players say, and we tell them you have to know for sure if you think, let's say it went off on the other team, tell us. And if you're not sure, and then quickly we try to see if we can get a quick video review. So it all happens very, very fast. You have to be sure because if you challenge, you don't get it. It costs you timeouts and things like that, which are very valuable.
All right, Pat, thank you for the time today.
All right. Thank you.
Soon.